Your roof flashing is extremely important to protect your home and keep water from coming in, and especially during wintertime where you're having ice dams and a lot more, water can actually back up into the house and get into places that it normally wouldn't run into, during the spring, summer, and fall. When you have ice dams and things like that where water could actually run uphill, then you're solely relying on your roof flashings, counter flashings, and things of that nature. So that's where it's extremely important to make sure those things are done correctly and everything's sealed up tight, or that's when you're going to have roof leaks. Sometimes houses, believe it or not, they'll leak. We'll have more problems during the winter doing repairs than we will any other time of the year, just because of ice dams and things like that. If the metal flashing's installed correctly and everything was done how it was supposed to be, it's not going to fail. It's just a matter of making sure it was done properly and to specification. Some other common signs of your flashings failing around chimneys could also be more than just the flashing on the chimney. It could be the tuck pointing as well. The brick starting to deteriorate, those needing to be grinded out and re-tuck pointed. That's more of a masonry thing, but a lot of times, when we're installing a flashing into a chimney, that's something we'll work and coordinate with a mason, prior to a roof install, is making sure we have a solid foundation and the chimney's solid to install that counter flashing and withhold those anchor pins. Otherwise, if the chimney's starting to crumble and fall apart, then your counter flashing and roof is going to fail at that chimney. A flashing can be repaired in freezing temperatures. That's going to be more like your metal flashings, of course. I would not recommend any type of rubber or anything that's going to have require some adhesives. It can be done in kind of an emergency situation, but then we would always recommend coming back in the springtime and doing it, correctly, just to make sure everything seals up. More for longevity, but just to get you by in the wintertime, you could do that. I mean, the best way for the homeowner to prevent any of these issues is just have a roofing expert come out and do a thorough inspection on your roof, make sure everything was installed correctly the first time. And then, these roofs nowadays should last you're up to your 30 years, and you're not going to have any issues. For the most part, there shouldn't be any type of maintenance issues. That's going to be more on your windows and siding, more than the roof or flashing details. So as long as everything's installed, to the manufacturer specifications and is installed by a reputable company, that's the best bet for your homeowner to ensure that they're not going to have any issues, whether it's wintertime or summer.